You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, 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 what it do, what it do, what it do? Good, great, grand morning to y'all, man. Wonderful, beautiful people. Monday morning, we starting the work week. You know, it's so funny, you know. A lot of people think that Monday is the first day of the week. Like, you too grown for that, man. I was talking to somebody just the other day. This woman tried to run me down that the first day of the week is Monday. I said, no, that's the first day of the work week. That's the first weekday. The first day of the week is Sunday. That's why they call it the weekend, because the last day is Saturday. The first day is Sunday. So it's the weekend. Like a loaf of bread has two ends. The beginning, the front side, the front end, and the back end. The front end is Sunday. The back end is Saturday. But people crazy, though. Anyway. But yeah, so happy Monday to y'all, man. Wonderful, great, beautiful people, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, hermanos mi hermanas, prince and princesses, ladies and lads, kings and queens, and everything in between. Y'all know what time it is. A doctor's in the house. Let's get it, man. Let's get it on this Monday. Ooh, we got some things. We got some things. We got some things, man. So look, check this out, man. So Turkey has, you know, you see the topic, man. I'm trying to figure out, man, you know, is Canelo gonna get turkeyed, or is Turkey, or is Bud gonna get turkeyed? And what I mean by that is that, you know, Turkey seems to be putting his what is it? How's the saying go? The cart before the horse? Something like that. It's like he has a habit of it's not just planning for fights, because there's nothing wrong with having a plan. In fact, you should have a plan. In fact, that's the contrary, right? There's something wrong with not having a plan. You should always have a plan, and just hopefully you have good timing, and hopefully that plan is in accordance with God's plan. But there's nothing wrong with looking ahead, is what I'm saying, But Turkey, he just goes overboard with it, He he does some things that we're going to get into. But first, we got to start off with our prayer as always, man. So please join me and bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for your blessings. Thank you for waking us up to see this wonderful Monday. Please give us the strength to keep going into this week, and give us the courage to not only thrive, but also to win our battles that we face, whatever form that battle is coming in, whether it's coming in a form of health, or even other people's evil intentions or disappointment, or whatever that battle that we're struggling with, or depression, mental health, or physical, whatever the battle that we are facing, whatever hardship, whatever form it takes. Please give us the ability to conquer that, and to have faith in you that you will carry us through like you always do. We ask for your forgiveness, and we thank you for your blessings as always, Lord, through Jesus' name. Amen. So so Turkey, we have the big Terence Crawford fight. A lot of people look at this as a fight that Terence Crawford wanted, right? And of course he wanted it more than Canelo. Canelo wasn't really fond of the fight, and and rightfully so, because he's fighting a guy that's smaller, so he won't really get the credit that he, I ain't gonna say deserves. I mean, you shouldn't get as much credit for being a smaller guy, but you do deserve some credit because Terence Crawford is a phenomenal fighter. But at the same time, when you are considered the favorite because of things like a size disparity, then it's looked at as an easy challenge for you, as opposed to the guy who you're fighting. If he's a smaller guy, it's like more of a harder challenge, and that's just common sense. It should look that way. But it's kind of similar to the John Ruiz and Roy Jones Jr. situation. But it's better. It's not as bad as that, right? The reason why I say it is because John Ruiz didn't really have a big name. Terence Crawford has a big name. He's very accomplished, 2 times undisputed and undefeated, right? So, and a current 154-pound champion. So he has his own name. It's not as big as Canelo's, but he's definitely not an unknown fighter. He's a star, right? So I think that if Canelo beats this guy who's an all-time great already, then he will get credit, So I do think just like Roy Jones and John Ruiz, Roy Jones was going to get credit for being John Ruiz because of the size. John Ruiz would have got credit for being Roy Jones because of the name, but not as much credit because he's a bigger guy. So Canelo naturally will not get as much credit as Terence Crawford, but he will still get credit for somebody like me, and because I recognize how great Terence Crawford is. That's why I do think he has a chance because of his greatness. However, I'm going with Cinnamon, right? I think Cinnamon will win, but I don't think it's going to be easy because it's Bud, right? However, Turkey, a lot of people see him as being on Terence Bud Crawford's side. I'm not so convinced if he's really on the side. I don't think, and I could be wrong about this, but I think he does like Bud because I think that's why he had the fight happen. But I don't think he likes Bud like he likes, let's say, Hamzah Sheeraz or something like that. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if he really believes that Bud could win. It doesn't matter if he believes or not. But I know a lot of the general consensus is that, okay, yeah, Bud is Turkey's guy, and that's who he thinks is gonna win. But if you look at it, Turkey is planning for whose fights after? He's planning for Canelo's fights after, and primarily Sheeraz. Now, just because he's planning for Canelo and Sheeraz does not mean that he thinks Canelo's going to beat Bud. But, Turkey has done this before habitually, right? Turkey has made a fight already with Bam Rodriguez. Bam Rodriguez is on a poster for a unification fight against Puma Martinez in November, and the man has a unification fight against the South African Fumaledi Cafu, who's also undefeated this weekend. How you gonna and then not to mention, so not only did he do that, but he also did it again with the Mexican champion that faced a boxing Canelo Alvarez when he was fighting William Skull for an undefeated Cuban champion in the IBF, right? There was for another fight for undisputed, and he scheduled the Terence Crawford fight before. So Turkey does these things. I mean, we see it all the time, right? Even with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, the British champion AJ and the American champion Wilder. He was looking for them to fight, and Deontay Wilder had to fight Joseph Parker, the New Zealand fighter, and I don't know where Otto Wallin's, but I think he's from Sweden or something. The AJ had the Swedish fighter in front of him, but he beat Otto Wallin, but Deontay Wilder didn't beat Joseph Parker, so we never got that fight, right? So this is something that Turkey does habitually. Now I just don't know who's getting turkeyed. Is Bud getting turkeyed, or is Canelo getting turkeyed? You know what I'm saying? You know, and maybe he's not planning for a fight after Canelo for Bud, because maybe Bud is going to retire. Maybe Turkey knows that, you know. So I don't know what's going on, you know. I'm not sure, but somebody's getting turkeyed, you know. I just don't know if it's Cinnamon or if it's Budrick, but somebody's definitely getting turkeyed, you know. And I think that's just crazy. But speaking of getting turkeyed, we have a potential undercard that was announced. We had a potential undercard that was announced today for the Canelo and Crawford card, and I think it's okay, you know. This is it right here. I ain't gonna say it's okay. I think it's good, actually. So this is released by Mike Coppinger, who works for the Ring. That goofball. He on Turkey's behalf, he announced a potential undercard so far. And this is true. This is good, right? We have a baby on baby clash. You know what I'm saying? The clash of the big babies. We got Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, going against Jared Big Baby Anderson. You know, that's a good fight. You know, they always had it back and forth, and they had it back and forth this weekend as well. I think that's a good fight. I actually don't know who wins that. I think that Jared Anderson definitely has the skills in his favor, but then Jarrell Miller has the pills in his favor. So one got skills, the other one got pills. You know what I'm talking about? You know, so, you know, it was a PED popper, so he always got a chance. You know what I'm saying? And the other one, you know, he looked a little shaky. Not in his last fight. He won his last fight. He didn't look that. He looked a little shaky there too. You know, arguing with his corner, talking about he don't want to hit somebody in the elbows because he don't like punches to the body because he be hitting elbows and stuff. He just has a lot of He just has a lot of questions as far as his mentality goes. But I think that's a good fight, man. I think that Jared Anderson a couple years ago, before Bacoli, you know, pre-Bacoli, I think that we would have Jared Anderson. The majority of people have Jared Anderson winning. But post-Bacoli, I'm not sure. You know, and Jarrell Big Baby Miller, I mean, he lost to Daniel Dubois. He did bounce back and beat Andy Ruiz, but I don't know if that was like a convincing victory for most. We'll see. I think that's a good matchup, man. You know, all things considered, I think that's a very good matchup, and I'm interested in that if it comes to fruition at the heavyweight division. I think that this means a lot for both, right? You know, I think it means more for Jared Anderson. You know, he's a younger fighter, more spry fighter, so I think it would be better for him to win as far as the health of boxing. But either way, I don't really see either one of them as big threats to being a champion. You know what I'm saying? Like Daniel Dubois, I don't see. I mean, obviously Jarrell Big Baby Miller lost to Daniel Dubois, but I don't see any of these guys. Usyk doesn't really. He's not really too consequential because, you know, he's at the back end of his career, so he'll probably be gone soon anyway. But like, I don't see them beating Ajit Kabayel. I don't see either one of them beating Bacoli. Obviously, Jared Anderson lost to Bacoli. Jarrell Big Baby Miller lost to Dubois. So I don't like the top guys. I don't know. Maybe they could be a good fight for Joseph Parker. You know, Jarrell Big Baby Miller and Joseph Parker might be good, but I have Joseph Parker winning that as well. So yeah, I don't really know where their future lies. You know, and like I said, Jared Big Baby Anderson is the most skilled, but he just doesn't seem to have it mentally, you know. And then we got Christian and Billy versus Lester Martinez. I think this fight is great. This fight is, hey, that'd be a great fight. However, I know I'm gonna sound a little nitpicky here, chat. I don't really want that fight, man. I don't really want that fight, man. I'd rather have Lester Martinez versus Sheeraz. I'd rather have Christian and Billy versus Sheeraz. I'd rather have Diego Pacheco versus Sheeraz. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Diego Pacheco or Christian and Billy. You know, I know Diego Pacheco has been pulling out against Christian and Billy, but I want to see Sheeraz still prove himself, because yes, Sheeraz versus Berlanga was a good win, but it's so funny because people will say that Berlanga wasn't good, right? Berlanga's not good. When we see this all the time in boxing. They're telling me that Berlanga, Mr. AAAAA. So I would see that they would say that Berlanga, Mr. AAA, is not good. But then if somebody beats him, he's good. We see it. It's a classic move with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's not good, but Tyson Fury suddenly became the best after he beat Deontay Wilder. And then Joseph Parker, who lost to Dylan White, Anthony Joshua, and got knocked smooth out by Joe Joyce, he's not good. No one ever talks about him. but then he beats the trash Deontay Wilder, and then all of a sudden he's good now. What? So Berlanga is not that good, but he's good enough to make people want to see Sheeraz versus Canelo. Nah, I get it. That's Turkey. Turkey proposed that. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I don't think that Sheeraz just could. This is his first fight at 168 pounds. How does he just jump ahead of Osley Iglesias? I think Osley Iglesias and Sheeraz is a good fight. I would lean towards Iglesias winning. I think Sheeraz and Billy's a good fight. I would lean towards Billy. I think Sheeraz and Pacheco's a good fight. I think that's pretty even, but I would lean towards Pacheco. I think if Sheeraz and Lester Martinez is a good fight, I would lean towards Lester Martinez. So I just think it's funny that, you know, the guy, when you have two guys that are unproven, and even Edgar Berlanga, let's say Edgar Berlanga would have won, I would think that's a good win. Don't get me wrong. Sheeraz beating Berlanga is a good win. Berlanga beating Sheeraz would have been a good win. But how good are they? Because Sheeraz's best win was against Tyler Denny, and he escaped. To this day, I don't know how he escaped Adames without an L. And then Berlanga, you know, his best win was who? Padraig McCrory, you know, or his best win was his loss to Canelo. Let people tell it. And you know what I'm saying? I just think that these wins for each other would have been a good win, a galvanizing win, but not a win to get you Canelo. But like I said, you know, we know Cinnamon wants to fight in London, and if he's gonna fight in London, it's gonna be either Chris Eubank Jr. or Hamzah Sheeraz. So I'm not mad at it, but you know, there's other fights. First of all, I think Cinnamon smacks Sheeraz. I don't know what I saw an interview with Jose Benavidez Sr., and of course they don't like Canelo like that, and I don't blame them, you know. But they said that they think Sheeraz beats Canelo won't take the Sheeraz fight. Jose Benavidez Sr. said that. I guess he's saying that Sheeraz is too dangerous. What are we talking about? And there's no disrespect to Benavidez, but this sometimes you got, and not just Benavidez. I like Jose Benavidez Sr. Let me say that disclaimer. But it's just sometimes, you know, it's hard for me to listen to some people when they talk about certain people. I say that about Paulie Malignaggi in regards to Gervonta Tank Davis and Cinnamon, right? When he's decent when he talks about everybody else, but when he talks about Canelo and Gervonta, it's like he has a short circuit or an overflow of emotions, and he can't control himself and say anything logical or sensical. You know what I'm saying? So whole bunch of nonsensical rhetoric and bull jive, you know. And same with Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley's good sometimes, except for when he's talking about certain people. Same with DAZN, they're never good anyway. All them commentators are trash, from Todd Grisham to Chris Mannix to Sergio Mora. All them bitches are trash. But Sergio Mora, I like him though as a fighter, you know, so I still got to respect his opinion. But you know, so with Jose Benavidez Sr., I know that they don't like Canelo and Canelo doesn't like them, rightfully so. I'm not knocking them. That their disdain for each other makes sense, right? But I will say this. When Jose Benavidez says things like, "Oh, Canelo won't fight Sheeraz," what? He won't fight Who is Sheeraz?
What?
Like he's like, he won't fight Hamzah Sheeraz. So then, okay, so I want to be very clear. So if you're saying that he won't fight Hamzah Sheeraz, right? Then if Canelo fights Hamzah Sheeraz, then he got to get credit because you're making it seem like he's a dangerous fighter. So that's what, you can't have it both ways. So let's say that you're saying, oh, he won't fight Hamzah Sheeraz because Hamzah Sheeraz is dangerous. But then if he fights Hamzah Sheeraz and he whoops him, you're gonna say, oh, who was Hamzah Sheeraz?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
I don't want Canelo to fight Hamzah Sheeraz because I'm not convinced by Hamzah Sheeraz yet. You know, I don't think that's a good fight. You know, I'd be disappointed. But then if you're gonna come out and say that, okay, Canelo won't fight Hamzah Sheeraz, you're saying that because you think Hamzah Sheeraz is too dangerous, and you're saying that based off the false pretense that Hamzah Sheeraz is good because he stopped Berlanga and Canelo didn't stop Berlanga. You know, if you pay attention to boxing, this is another trend. It's right on schedule. This is what we always do habitually, right? And historically, right? Jaime Munguia stops John Ryder. What did he do? Oh, he stopped John Gorilla Ryder. He stopped John Gorilla Ryder. He did what Canelo couldn't do, right? Because Canelo went the distance. Canelo fought Jaime Munguia, made it look like a cakewalk. And people complained. Because Jaime Munguia wasn't ready. He wasn't on par with Canelo. Okay, let's go to another fighter, right? So it doesn't stop there, right? You know, because Bruno Soros, apparently when he stopped Jaime Munguia, he did something that Canelo couldn't do. So then you want Canelo to fight Bruno Soros? And then if he stops him, you're going to say, who's Bruno Soros? So now Hamzah Sheeraz, he beats Edgar Berlanga faster than Canelo, and he did something that Canelo couldn't do. So if Canelo beats Sheeraz, then that's a good win then, right? It has to be a good win because he's doing something that Canelo Canelo couldn't do. You know, it's just crazy. Like I just think you gotta pick. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Like I said, I wouldn't mind Sheeraz fighting in Billy or Pacheco. I personally don't think Sheeraz is ready for Cinnamon. I think that he did a good job against Berlanga, yeah, but once again, Berlanga is relatively unproven. That's what everybody was saying, right? So I don't know how that could catapult you into a Canelo fight by beating a guy that people don't think is that good. But if you don't think he's that good, and if he does end up fighting Sheeraz, then you have to give Canelo credit, because you have people out here saying that he won't fight him because Sheeraz is dangerous. So, but anyway, I will say this, in that same interview though, or was it a different interview? I don't know. But anyway, Jose Benavidez was asked would he like to fight Sheeraz, and he said yeah. You know, he said he would love to fight Hamzah Sheeraz for his son. I think that's a good matchup. But he said that I just kind of get like, hey, don't set up any barriers. You know, life is not about barriers. You know, don't box yourself in. But I do think it's kind of funny that like, he's all over the place. You know, he's a light heavyweight champion. You're gonna fight a guy that's at 168. You know, you're still calling out Canelo. I get that one. It's a face of boxing, biggest revenue generation, you know, biggest money fight. But I don't understand calling out Sheeraz, and then also calling out Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight, and then also saying that you'll fight Ja Pataya. It's like, you know, of course, Benavidez did say that his biggest, the target is Beterbiev and Bivol. Makes sense. You know, they're in their division, and maybe he doesn't want to wait, but you got Anthony Yarde in front of you. There's other guys, you know, Callum Smith, which Callum Smith obviously didn't want to fight. But there's other guys that you could target. You know, I think Anthony Yarde's a great fight, but I think that I don't know, man. I don't know about Sheeraz and Benavidez. Like, I think from the size standpoint, it'll make sense. But that means Sheeraz will have to go to 175 because Benavidez can't make 168 anymore. I don't want to see Sheeraz at 175. And I know Jose Benavidez said, senior, he said that he thinks Sheeraz could go all the way up to heavyweight. I don't think so. You know, he has the height for it, yes, but he does not have the bulk for it. Like, boxing is not just height. You know, we see Espinosa, who's 6'1", he's at 126. Can Espinosa fight at 168 because he's 6'1"? No. Like, you have things like bone density, you have things like mass, you have things like stock, you know, stockiness and stuff like that. So I tell people all the time, it's like the giraffe. The giraffe is the tallest animal, but no one ever confuses the giraffe with the largest or the biggest animal. No, that'll be the elephant, the land animal, that is, because it's more massive, right? So being tall does not mean that you could be in any weight. I mean, Sebastian Fedora is 154, but he's what? How tall is Fedora? 6'5"? You put Fedora at heavyweight, he's gonna get slaughtered. So this notion that Sheeraz could make it to heavyweight because he's tall is ridiculous. I don't think Benavidez and Sheeraz is a good fight at all. But if they made it, I mean, hey, it'll be interesting. I think Sheeraz will get put to sleep. Yo, I see some people here, man. Shout out to Oscar, shout out to Dub, shout out to Ryan, B Dog, Cam J. What up? He said, I expected Sheeraz to outbox him. Did think he was gonna blast him out like that, right? So Sheeraz a weight bully. I guess Sheeraz is a weight bully. I don't know, man. I just think that sometimes I guess maybe I expect too much of fighters and people's expertise. You know, I just thought that was very silly. But like I said, Jose Benavidez was asked the question. He did not come out here and try to politic for Sheeraz. He just was asked a question and he went on, you know, a pretty long explanation. I just disagree. I don't think that Sheeraz is belongs anywhere near Benavidez. And I don't think Benavidez belongs below 175, but if he wants to do it, and then if he does do it, and let's say he fights Canelo at 168 or he fights Sheeraz at 168, which I don't think it would be, then, you know, if you lose because you're weight drained, I don't want to hear it, because that's what you're asking for and that's what you're talking about. So I don't want to hear anything about being weight drained. You know what I'm saying? I just personally don't want to hear it. But yeah, man, so let's keep it going. I think the possible Canelo Crawford undercard looks good to me. Lester Martinez and Christian and Billy, I think that's a fire fight. I think that fight is fantastic. You know what I'm saying? That fight right there. Hamzah Sheeraz, Lester Martinez and Christian and Billy. Oh my goodness, that fight, it would be crazy. We were supposed to see Lester Martinez this weekend, on Friday, the same day as the women's card. You know what I'm saying? One time for the ladies. We were supposed to see it at the same day as that, but Lester Martinez had to pull out because he was having chronic migraines throughout camp, so he pulled out of his fight. But this would be a good fight, man. You know, like I said, I'll be disappointed that somebody has to lose, of course, because I think they're both great. But I'll be more disappointed too that we didn't get to see Christian and Billy and Diego Pacheco. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I love this fight, man. And Jared Anderson and Jarrell Baby Miller, I don't think that's like a big fight as far as a it's a meaningful fight. It's a meaningful fight for each of them individually, but I don't know if it's a big fight. Like, I don't think it really means much in the heavyweight division, you know, say outside of two American heavyweights going at it. I don't think that either one of them are too promising to become a future champion, at least not in the current landscape. But it would be a good fight though, not just from in the ring but aspect, but also for the perspective of the what's it called? The press conferences and stuff like that. I think that, man, that'd be crazy, man. That the press conferences will be entertaining and all that good stuff in bonbons, man. So yeah, so we'll see what's going on. You know, Turki is he seems like he's planning Hamzah Sheeraz and Canelo, and he might be prioritizing that over Chris Eubank Jr. and Canelo. Maybe Canelo has a final say. I don't know. I will say this though, Jose Benavidez Sr. said that Canelo won't fight Hamzah Sheeraz. Maybe he knows that Canelo has a final say between Sheeraz and Eubank, because that's what everybody pretty much knows, right? That Canelo will fight in London, and if he's gonna fight in London, obviously that would be either Chris Eubank Jr., assuming he beats Conor Ben, and Hamzah Sheeraz, since he won. They're both London boys, so we'll see how that goes, man. And I don't know. I think that Canelo would lean towards Sheeraz. But if he picks Eubank Jr., I don't know. You know, I definitely think Sheeraz is better than Eubank Jr. as far as being more competitive. But we'll see. In my personal opinion, if he's going to fight one of those two, I think that Chris Eubank Jr. and Hamzah Sheeraz should fight each other, and then the winner of that gets Canelo. And I still won't like that fight, but at least I like it a little better. At least I like it a little better, you feel me? And then check this out, man. So Devin Haney talks about some of the people that he was targeting. Switching the subject now, Devin Haney was talking about some of the people that he was targeting this weekend, right? Before he fell on the Norman fight, you know. So let's check this out and see what Devin Haney has to say about this. He was asked about how these fights came about with him and Norman. He kind of gives us a rundown. Let's see.
We had a hit list of guys that we wanted to fight. The main fight was the Ryan fight. That was a fight that we had already signed for, that we wanted. And once the Ryan fight, Ryan was injured, and it just didn't make sense to do it. The next guy was Teofimo.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Devin Haney be pissing me off sometimes. I know I'm not trying to nitpick on the young man. Shout out to Devin Haney, you know. But why he go so easy on Ryan Garcia right there? Ryan was injured. No, Ryan got his shit beat. You know what I'm saying? He got his head knocked off by Rolly Romero. He didn't hold up his end of the bargain. The dude is trash, a mediocre pedestrian at best fighter, and he's on PEDs. That's what he should have said. Oh, well, Ryan Garcia fell through because, you know, he was injured or whatever. Nah, fuck that. He wasn't injured. He got his ass whooped and tried to come up with an excuse like he usually does. That's what he should have said. Right? The Devin Haney get on my nerves. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He get on my nerves sometimes.
We had a hit
lot of
list
times.
of guys that we wanted to fight. The main fight was the Ryan fight. That was a fight that we had already signed for, that we wanted. And once the Ryan fight, Ryan was injured, and it just didn't make sense to do it. The next guy was Teofimo.
It didn't make sense to do it because he lost. That's why it didn't make sense to do it. And he looked like trash because he's trash. But let's keep it going.
So we signed for that fight. We did our part. We thought the fight was gonna happen, and then whatever that didn't happen. So then the next guy was Boots.
So he talked about Teofimo. He's really nice to everybody. He said that the Teofimo fight didn't happen. We know that famously Teofimo hasn't made any fight happen. Not with Brian Norman, Devin Haney, Jerome Boots Ennis, anybody else, Ryan Garcia, everybody else he called out, he hasn't made happen. Rolly, Liam Paro, Richardson Hitchens, Teofimo hasn't made any fight happen. So I agree with Devin Haney on that.
They came with Boots. We said, let's do it. They said, but we said at 147. They wanted to do that at catchweight at 152. But there was no point in us doing that at 152. We never even fought at 147. So then the next best guy was Brian Norman, and that's who we went for.
I'm going to be honest, man. I think he's telling the half truth. I think Devin Haney's telling the half truth right there. I believe it. I believe him, right? I believe that they had a discussion with Boots. I don't doubt that. I think a lot of discussions happened in the background that we're not privy to. And I believe that Boots, obviously he moved up to 154, that he wanted the fight maybe at a catchweight. But I think it's a little disingenuous that the fight would have happened. You know what I'm saying? I think that even if it was at 147, I don't believe that it would have happened. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just that was a good reason enough not to have the fight. But I don't know if he would ever fought Boots. You know, but I gotta believe him. I'm just saying I have my doubts, but I also doubt that the Haney and Norman fight's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Devin Haney, once again, just like that, right? I don't think it's gonna be him ducking. I'm not saying that he's scared, but for some reason, I think it's gonna make sense for him to not take the fight with Norman, just like it made sense for him not to take the fight with Boots at 152 or whatever it is. You know, I think something's gonna happen. That's my personal opinion. Let's keep it going.
Was there any truth to you potentially offering Shakur a fight very soon here outside of the Brian Norman deal? I heard a rumor about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had a hit list of guys who we wanted to fight. So whichever guy stepped up, I think Shakur already had a fight scheduled when we was trying to find out an opponent. So not necessarily Shakur, but it was a hit list of guys who we want to fight all those guys. Whichever one was going to step up, that's what we were going to fight. Okay.
See, I like that right there where he was talking about Shakur, you know, but he said there's a hit list of guys. He said not necessarily Shakur, because I was going to call cap right there, because the guy asked about Shakur and he was like, yeah, we probably had some like preliminary discussion with Shakur. I'm not mad at that, but Shakur's a champion at 135. Devin Haney, you just left 140. Your last fight was against Jose Carlos Ramirez at 143. So how serious were or 144, excuse me. So how serious were the discussions with Shakur Stevenson? Like, come on, bro. Like, that's what I be talking about. It's like, I try to like Devin Haney. You know, that's shout out to the young man. I'm rooting for him, especially to come back after being cheated. I think it's like a smear campaign against Devin Haney. But how could I believe that you seriously would fight Shakur? And you know, that's what I'm saying. This is the second time, because the first time it was like, okay, it was a low offer. That's what people say. That's why Shakur didn't take it. And you know, I think you should get what you deserve. But you could say that, okay, Shakur probably should have fought him for whatever, or called his bluff or whatever. So I don't blame either one of them on that. You know, it just didn't happen. But then now again, we're talking about Shakur. It's like, bro, there's no way. What you want Shakur to come up, drop his belt at 135, not just go to 140, but go to 147, or fight at a catch weight at 143, because you can't make 140. So how you gonna fight 135? Like I said, he said not necessarily Shakur, but Shakur was on the hit list, and it just kind of showing you, you know, if you let people talk, they kind of tell you and reveal themselves to you. It's like that hit list might be bullcrap.
So we seen the scope where y'all got into, and Tank had to hem Brian up a little bit.
Yeah.
What happened there? What was the conversation between you and Brian that escalated the situation?
Yeah, I don't really remember the conversation, but he just got too close, and that's when I pushed him, and that's when everything just.
But yeah, man, that's basically it.
So is the bad blood?
Whoops. Yeah, so that's basically it, man. I just think it's just like a little bit disingenuous, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, though. You got James in the building. What's good, bro? Dub dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. Shout out to my guy Dub, man. He said, what did Dub say? Hold on, I can't even see it now. He said Berlanga invited us to his parade party. Chill out, hey, chill out, my guy Berlanga, man. Don't do Berlanga like that, man. He said it's a ranked hit list, man. It's a full of shit hit list. I mean, you all know what kind of hit list it is, James? I'll tell you what kind of hit list it is. It's a bullshit list. Bullshit! Ain't no hit list. It's a bullshit list. That's what it is. He said Shakur said interviews he wanted to go up to 147 for Carter Bed. They hold that against him. Yeah, I don't care. You know, I think people are ridiculous. You know, I think when people say that, it's like when they say, oh, well, Tank went up to 140 for Mario Barrios. That means he'll go up to 140 for anybody. Oh, Canelo went up to 175 for Bivol and Kovalev. So that means he could go up for anybody. No, say that you'll go somewhere to fight somebody in particular is different than saying you're going to campaign somewhere. So I think that's like a very simplistic approach to a more complicated problem. You know, it's like, why would I say that I'm going to go to any division? I mean, just because I say I'm willing to fight this person at this weight because I see something in them, you know, that I could exploit or I could find vulnerable. Maybe you can see like, oh, okay, bet that means I'll go there for anybody. No, that's not the same thing. And you know, it's not the same thing. It's like when Devin Haney fought Regis Prograis at 140 for his debut. There's nothing wrong with that, but would he have fought anybody as his debut at 140? No. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that you should hold that against him. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's very few beasts out there like Crawford that will go up to a new division to fight an undefeated champion. You know what I'm saying? So, No, I don't think that just because you'll go up to one division or you'll do something for somebody doesn't mean that you need to do it for everybody else. That's ridiculous, and that to me that's yeah, that's kind of a stupid that's a stupid thought. You know, it's like Roy Jones Jr. So because Roy Jones Jr. went up to heavyweight to fight John Ruiz, that means that Roy Jones Jr. should be down with fighting Lennox Lewis or Vladimir Klitschko or Vitaly Klitschko or Samuel Nightmare Peter or whoever else was a heavyweight back then. So he should fight any heavyweight because he's willing to go up there and fight specifically John Ruiz. No. It's like when people say, oh, Bud should fight David Benavidez because if he really wants to fight Canelo, he should prove himself at 168 and fight David Benavidez and fight Caleb Plant and fight Edgar Bro, you sound stupid. That's some of the stupidest stuff I've ever heard. No, you gotta do certain things for certain people. It is what it is, bro. This is not fighting in the street. This is not a bloodbath. This is not gladiator. This is a prize fighting. So yes, you're gonna look at fighters' dimensions and see what makes sense for you to make that jump. And you're still at a disadvantage because you're the smaller guy. So Shakur is saying, and so is Tank or whoever else that was gonna be willing to challenge the PED popper Conor Ben.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
Whoever said that they would move up to fight Conor Ben, they're saying that that is a guy that I can sacrifice a disadvantage in size and still believe in myself to win. That doesn't mean that I want to sacrifice myself in size against everybody. You see what I'm saying? So, and then that's another, and shout out to Ryan, you know, if that's what they're saying, which I think that is what they're saying, they're trying to call us bluff. Then, I mean, try to say, oh yeah, man, Shakur said to move up for him. How come he won't move up for me? And try to make it seem like it's something that's weak by Shakur. It's like, to me, that's a weak angle because it just reinforces that you're not really serious about fighting Shakur yet again. You see what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about it, man. He's not going to campaign at 168, but is he going up to fight the best guy? Yeah, that is a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. He's going to fight the best guy because the best guy at 168 is who? Cinnamon. And Cinnamon is what? Cinnamon is the best guy despite being at a size disadvantage against everybody. When's the last time you seen Cinnamon be... When's the last time you see Cinnamon fight and not be the smaller guy? He said that's the difference. It is gladiators. It's not gladiators over here. It's not gladiators over there at all. He said, y'all move it up, do some G. That is G shit. What are we talking? That's the thing. That is G shit. What move it up is gangster. What are you talking about? How is it not gangster? So because, okay, so let me ask you something. So if I go fight a guy with a knife and I have no hands, I have not no hands. If I don't have a weapon, let's say me and you fight it, Ryan, and you have a knife and I still fight you. That's not gangster on my behalf? Oh, but if you have a Tommy gun, I should still want to fight you. So if I say no to the Tommy gun, that means it's not a gangster move to fight the knife because the knife is not as bad as a Tommy gun? No, like that doesn't mean you're going to do everything. That is, anytime you move up to fight somebody, that is gangster. When Canelo moved up to fight Bivol, that's gangster. That doesn't mean that he has to stay up there and fight Beterbiev too. That's the thing. Like I don't understand. Like people want people to be like so. Okay, let me get this straight. Shout out to my guy Ryan. I want everybody to answer this question. So you want? Let me make sure. So you want? So basically, you want one guy to be gangster. So what does that mean about the other guy? So is that not pussy? Is that not cowardice? If you're fighting the smaller guy, does that make you a punk? So what's gangster on the bigger guy's end? What's gangster about a guy fighting a smaller guy? So as much as I like Cinnamon, you know I got Cinnamon beating Bud. I got Cinnamon beating Bud, right? But Canelo fighting Bud is not gangster. I have no problem saying that, right? Canelo's not going to get as much credit for beating Bud as Bud will get for beating Canelo because Canelo's a bigger guy. So we want one guy to be tough and a gladiator and go through any obstacles, but we want to minimize the obstacles for the other guy. Come on, bro. Come on, Ryan. Come on, bro. You wildin'. So we want Devin Haney or Shakur to go up and fight Conor Ben to show how tough they are, but we're not gonna knock Conor Ben for being weak for fighting smaller guys. So it's always a give and take. You know what I'm saying? Canelo has always been the smaller guy. That's why Terence Crawford likes his chances to beat Canelo, because from a size, from a dimension standpoint, they are very similar. He's not going to go up there and fight David Benavidez, who comes in at almost 200 pounds. That doesn't make sense. Why would you fight a guy that's what? How tall is Benavidez? 6'3"? Come on, bro. Yeah. Hey, you don't want to see gliding. You want to see people get killed. Hey, Ryan is crazy, bro. Ryan wants people to get killed, bro. He said, Canelo beats Bivol, he would campaign at 175. and that's a lie. What you just said is a lie. I never heard Canelo say he was going to campaign at 175. What you just said is a lie. He fought 2 people at 175. How does that turn into him campaigning at 175? Yeah. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you for chiming in. Because, yeah, Ryan's tripping. I've never heard Canelo say he was going to campaign at 174. What you just said is a lie. You said this went over your head. No, you just lied, bro. If that went over my head, you just lied in my face, my brother. Shout out to Ryan, bro. Shout out to Ryan, man. Ryan just dropped a whole lie out here. I've never seen Canelo say he was going to campaign at 175. He fought 2 people at 135. One was successful, Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, and one was unsuccessful, Dmitry Bivol. I've never heard him say he'll fight Beterbiev. I'd never say he'll fight Benavidez at 175. I never heard him say he wants to stay at 175. I never heard him say he wants to unify at 175. I never heard him say he wants to get undisputed at 175. I never heard. The only time I heard him say he wants to get undisputed at 175 is if Bivol wins, and it'll be a rematch for Bivol for undisputed at 175. I've never heard him say he wants to fight guys at 175. You just said a whole lie out here. He said he literally wanted a rematch. Yes, rematching Bivol is not campaigning at 175. You just conflated 2 different things. He said he wants to rematch Bivol, which once again will be 2 people at 175. Kovalev and Bivol. Fighting Bivol is not synonymous with fighting all of 175. You just mixed this. You just mixed the 2. One day you say he wants to fight Bivol, which we agree, and then you're saying that means he wants to campaign at 175. That's not the same thing. Shout out to Pugilism. He said all these self-righteous takes about the order of competition. Name of the game is prize fighting. Talk to him. And Canelo Burr earned their way to put the pieces in place and sell their fight. Right? Yeah. Ryan's capping. Shout out to Ryan, man. Yeah, he's capping. Saying you want to rematch somebody is not the same. I mean, I guess he wants to campaign at 150. What was the last fight? What was the last weight Floyd was at? 152, right? Or 147? So I guess Canelo wants to campaign at 147 because he said he wants to rematch Floyd too. Come on, bro. What are we talking about? How is that not campaign if he said he would fight Beterbiev? He's not going to fight Beterbiev, bro. He's not. Bro, these are fighters, bro. They're not going to say, oh, yeah, I'm scared of Beterbiev. What do you want him to say? I'm scared to fight Beterbiev. Come on, bro. Like, all right. Okay, so you'll be right when he fights Beterbiev. Okay, how about that? Then I'll agree with you. When Canelo fights Beterbiev, then you'll be right. If he doesn't, then I'll be right until then. Shout out to my brother Ryan, man. I'll be right until then. You let me know when he fights Beterbiev, man. You let me fight. Let me know when he fights Benavidez, because didn't he say about Benavidez? Benavidez only brings 25 extra pounds to the fight. Canelo also said that too. Why would he say that if he's willing to fight at 175? So he's telling you that Benavidez brings 25 pounds extra to the fight. Why would he say that if he didn't care about fighting at 175? Why would he emphasize and repeatedly, habitually, frequently, constantly, consistently say that Benavidez is a light heavyweight? Why would he mention that if his intention was to fight at 175? Okay. He says Archer 45. Yeah, maybe he'll fight him. Yeah, shout out to Ryan. Maybe he'll fight him when he's 45 at 175. Maybe, but he's not. Come on, bro. Stop it, bro. This man trying to just try to cap, bro. Shout out to Ryan, man. Hey, shout out to Kevin, boy. Y'all be trying to cap, boy. Shout out to Ty in the building. They all now they waiting for Beterbiev. Now they waiting for Turkey. Hey, Ryan, nah. We go. Hey, I'm gonna have to time out Ryan, bro. I'm gonna have to take away his mod so I can time him out, bro. Now, hey, get out of here, bro. Get out of here, bro. This man said, no, bro, you better stop it, bro. You better not talk about Bivol. Bivol is definitely not waiting Beterbiev out. Let me tell y'all something. Hey, I'm gonna ask you this, Ryan. I'm gonna ask everybody. I'm not trying to, say, I'm not. Shout out to my boy Ryan. This is all jokes, but that's my guy. My guy not soft and none of that. Jamaican badman Ryan in the building. But I want to say this though. I want to say this real quick. How long did Canelo and Triple G rematch trilogy take? I'm going to give y'all a couple of seconds to answer. How long, I'm going to ask again. How long did Canelo and Triple G trilogy take? I'll give y'all some time to think about it.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Okay, time's up. What's the name? Canelo and Triple G's trilogy took 5 years, right? Okay, let's move on to another one. How long? So that was Canelo and Triple G's trilogy, right? Let's talk about Tyson Fury's trilogy with Deontay Wilder. How long did that take? How long did Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's trilogy take? I'm gonna give y'all some time to think about it.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Okay, time's up. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury's trilogy took 3 years, right? Okay, what about the trilogy that we just saw? Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. How long did Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor's trilogy take? I'll give y'all some time to think about it.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Okay, time's up. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, their trilogy took 3 years, right? Bivol and Beterbiev have fought twice in less than a year. Their trilogy, even if it gets postponed from November to February, or even from February to August, that would still be within 2 years. It'll be like in a year and a half, well under 2 years. So you're telling me Bivol is aging out Beterbiev because the trilogy didn't happen a couple months after anticipated? Not years, not years, a couple months. So no, if Beterbiev is old in August, he's old in October. If he was old in November, he's going to be old in January. If he's old in January, he's going to be old in the summer. So if you're talking about Bivol aging him out because he's waiting a couple of months, Artur Beterbiev is old and has been old, and he's going to be old. So let's stop that right now. Ain't nobody aging out no gosh dang Beterbiev. I'm sorry. He fought. This is the fastest trilogy that we've seen in a while. Thank you, Ty. It's been 3 years. So if this trilogy, even if the trilogy, like I said, it originally scheduled for August, then they said October, November, then they said December. Now it's looking like the top of 2026, even if it's in February. If you go back to last February, that's when the fight happened. February 22nd or something like that of 2025. So what's the problem? Ain't nobody being aged out, man. Y'all better stop that shit. Ain't nobody aging out Beterbiev, man. So, but yeah, I definitely want to see Beterbiev and Bivol, but if it doesn't happen right now, and it's so funny. You know, so funny too, Ty. How come Beterbiev and Bivol, how come the first fight got postponed? Y'all remember the first fight was postponed, right? Kendrick, you remember that, right? Dub, you remember that? Ryan, you remember that, right? James, you remember that, right? The first fight between Beterbiev and Bivol was postponed. Why was it postponed? Oh, because last time I checked, Beterbiev didn't fight somebody. Oh, but Bivol did. Remember Bivol fight a guy named Malik Zanad? And when he was fighting Malik Zanad, everybody responded like this.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Interesting.
No damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
It's interesting because nobody said that Beterbiev was aging out Bivol. Nobody said that Beterbiev was postponing it to get an advantage over Bivol. Oh, but the one time Beterbiev's opponent doesn't rush into a fight, it's because they're doing something nefarious and evil as trying to postpone or age him out. Beterbiev has postponed his fights about 4 or 5 times, and his opponents could not say nothing but wait on his old ass. Nobody had a problem with it. Oh, but the one time Beterbiev has to wait, he releases a gosh dang J.K. Rowling length Harry Potter novel on Instagram, talk about somebody aging him out. Stop it, bro. Sit your punk ass down and wait like you made everybody else wait. He made at least 5 of his opponents wait for him. Plenty of times, plethora of times. Am I lying? Am I lying? Oh, I'm not lying. Okay. So the one time Beterbiev has to wait a couple months, everybody's screaming and say, oh man, and he's trying to age out Beterbiev. Oh, Beterbiev, they're trying to get an advantage over Beterbiev. So that means Beterbiev is getting advantages over all of his opponents. I like Beterbiev, but let's not cap. I don't cap for nobody. We talk about the facts around here. So if Bivol's aged out Beterbiev, well, Beterbiev aged out all of his opponents because everybody had to wait on Beterbiev, including Bivol. Oh, okay. Bro, we be selectively critical, boy. If we like somebody, oh, they can do no wrong. But if we don't like somebody, oh man, they can do no right. Bro, you better stop it, man. You can literally look up, it's well documented how many times Beterbiev made his opponents wait for him. And they ain't do nothing but sit there quietly and be patient and wait. So Beterbiev can sit there quietly and be patient and wait now. He'll be all right. He'll be all right for 4 or 5 months. He'll be okay. If he's worried about being old in 5 months, bitch, retire. Because you've been old. When you debut, you were old on your debut. That's your fault. You want to spend gosh dang 20 years in the amateurs. That's your fault. I'm tired of hearing that shit, man. Everybody talk about they old when they Eastern European. That's your fault. You want to spend 30 years in the gosh dang amateurs. That's your fault. That ain't my fault. You want to be pro when you're 35. That's your business. Triple G wasn't old either. That's your fault. Triple G want to wait. Gosh dang, you want to spend 20 years in the amateurs. Okay, bitch, every time you fight, you going to be old. It is what it is. What are we talking about? Bivol's injured? Yeah, ask his wife. He's injured. Remember his neck, his back, his eyes? His eye socket's injured. His eyelashes injured. His toes are injured. Yes, he's injured, Ryan. He's very injured. You ain't see what his wife said? his whole anatomy's injured. You don't remember his wife? His wife disclosed every injury that Bivol had since the history of man. What are we talking about? Yeah, he's injured. Yep. Surely is. Yep, Bivol is definitely injured. Since you ought to blame it on injury. Everybody's injured. Floyd's injured. You know what I'm talking about? Shakur's injured. You see what he did to Zepeda? Everybody's injured. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no idealistic utopian society. Everybody's injured. Everybody is nicked up and bruises. But what we're not going to do is try to make it seem like, oh, this person could be injured and this person can't. This person could be sick. This person can't. This person could postpone. This person can't. No, bro. He can eat that delay, bro. One time he got delayed, he want to complain about it. I'm not trying to hear that shit. The one time you got to wait, it's a problem. Everybody else waited on you throughout the entirety of your career. The one time you gotta wait, oh, somebody's aging you out. Like my guy Ty said, fake news.
If you out here getting fake vagina,
fake news
over your fake jury, reality is reality.
The one time this man gotta wait, all of a sudden it's an uproar. The world is ending. This man gotta sit down one time. Sit down and wait. You'll be all right. Like Oscar said, flush them PEDs. Kendrick said, cycle off. Yes. Go ahead, cycle off. No, I don't know. Ryan. I don't know why he's postponed. I'm serious. I seriously don't know either. You know, I'm speaking like facetiously and stuff, but I don't know if he's injured. I don't know. But I don't care. That's the thing. I don't care. I don't care if he's injured. I don't care if he's sick. I don't care if he's on vacation. He said, wait, bitch, you gotta wait. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I don't care. Whether you're injured or not, it's waiting. Whether I'm waiting because Beterbiev has a meniscus tear. Didn't you say it's gladiator sport? Did you say you just said it's gladiator sport? You just got on my head top literally 5 minutes ago about you don't care. That's the difference between you. It's a gladiator sport. We'll tell Beterbiev to go lace up his bootstraps and then pull his skirt down and go in there with one knee. Oh, you ain't tell him that though. You let him wait and chill and get healed, right? Okay then. For me, that's the difference between me and you. I don't care if you're waiting because you're sick and you got bronchitis. I don't care if you're waiting because you're sick and you got migraines. I don't care if your left leg is broken. I don't care if you're on vacation with your wifey. I don't care. A wait is a wait. I don't care why you're waiting. You're waiting. I don't care. You see what I'm saying? The fact is that it's a delay. He could take one delay, bro. He'll be all right. Beterbiev hurt his knee for the second fight. He'll be all right. Oh, well. Bro, the man in his late 40s, he ain't got time to wait. That's his business. He should have turned. Next time, don't turn pro at 38. The man been pro for 4 years. He said, I wasn't agreeing with Dr. Bachatak. Those opponents weren't quiet. It don't matter. Whether they were quiet or not, they still had to wait, right? I don't care if they were quiet or they... Hey, Callum Smith was mad about the analytical... the adverse... No, it wasn't adverse, sorry. It was the atypical finding, right? The ATF. Callum Smith was mad about that. So what? No one came to his defense when he got beat up. You know what I'm saying? No one came and said, oh, well, I mean, I talked about it, but you know me, I do my thing. You know, we keep it funky around here. No one came and said, oh, well, Callum Smith, man, you know, Callum Smith should pull out the fight. No, I said it's an atypical finding. It actually had Beterbiev's back. I said, hey, man, it's an atypical finding. It doesn't really mean he was cheating. You know, I like Beterbiev, but we're not going to do that, bro. We're not going to say, oh, it's okay for this person to postpone and make sure that he's healthy, but then another guy does it. Oh, I don't know if he's making sure he's healthy. I don't know. I really don't know about Bivol, but I know that he has pre-existing injuries. We know that because his wife said it. We know that because he said it, you know, so we know that, right? So I really don't care. I don't worry myself about stuff like that. You know, I just know the fight's not happening, and I'm not gonna jump off the deep end and say, oh, they're trying to age out Beterbiev. Bitch, he's already old. You mean, what are we talking about? They tried to say that Floyd tried to age out Pacquiao. Floyd's older than Pacquiao. Man, stop this age out stuff, man. Ain't no aging out, man. You gotta wait. You'll be all right. Whether like Ty, if Ty says I wasn't agree with me, the opponents were quiet. It doesn't matter. If the opponents weren't quiet, or whether they were loud or quiet, or whatever it was did we have to wait for Beterbiev? I think the answer is yes. They all had to wait for Beterbiev. So Beterbiev could wait one time. He'll be all right. He'll be okay. I promise he'll be okay. And if not, then retire. Simple as that. My point of bringing out the time span is that Beterbiev and Bivol, it has not been a long time. Let me pull up Dimitri Bivol right now. Dimitri Bivol and Beterbiev, like I'd agree that he's aging about if it's been like 2 years or 3 years. Bro, they just fought in less than a year, bro. What are we talking about, bro? They fought in October of 2024. We're not even in October 2025. It has not even been a year since their first fight. How are you aging somebody out, bro? What do y'all want them to do? It literally has. They fought in October of 2024. We are in August of 2025. And they fought in February of 2025. It literally has not even been a year yet, and we talking about somebody being aged out. If you're aged out in 8 months, bitch, you was already old. It don't matter. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Ryan. You're right about that, and I think that's a shame. I think people that don't want Beterbiev and Bivol, I think they're crazy, bro. I think that's the best fight in boxing. Still, even a third fight, you know, it don't matter, bro. But like I said, no, there are people saying that. I mean, that's why Beterbiev said that, right? Beterbiev said that to get his fans saying that he's aging them out. You know, he said that to make it clear that he wants to fight now, and Bivol doesn't want to fight now. And like you said, I don't know the reason. You don't know the reason. I don't know the reason. But I'm sorry, I don't think it's suspicious that somebody isn't fighting 3 fights in 1 year. Who the freak fights 3 fights in 1 year, let alone the same person? When's the last time Alexander Usyk fought 3 times in a year? When's the last time he fought twice in a year? We know Bud doesn't fight twice in a year, but we're about to get mad at Beterbiev because Bivol, because he didn't fight 3 times in 1 year and the same person? Let alone the same person? What are we talking about, bro? Now, like I said, if it's like a 3-year time span that has passed, you know what I'm saying? Then I get it. Yeah, he's aging them out. I get it. But I'm sorry, you can't convince me that somebody's aging somebody out because they didn't fight 3 times in a year span. Freak out of here. We got to keep some common sense in boxing now, just a little bit. You know, we just got to keep a little bit of common sense. We can't go with everything, every narrative that we hear and just blindly move like sheep. There's no way that you could think somebody's aging somebody out because they didn't have 3 fights in a year time. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Stop it. But yeah, check this out though, man. I want to switch subjects real quick. I think this is funny. Whoever made this clip, they're wrong as hell, bro. I want to say this. Yeah. I know what you're saying about the Canelo. That's why I laughed about it. I know you're referencing Canelo. I got your reference. We talking about Bivol right now, but I understood your reference. Let's get it. So this is Shakur. Hey man, his daughter's so cute, man. Shout. I like this moment, man, in the ring. But whoever made this clip is wicked, bro. Check this out.
Is it pay to push me?
Hello.
Yeah. He wanted to win that fight really bad, so
He almost knocked you out.
Knocked you out.
Girl, is you crazy?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's why you gotta love kids, because kids say the darndest things. You see, adults be thinking this is cute. It's not cute when it's an adult. You know, adults should have some common sense and have some have a filter, right? Because you should be worried about hurting somebody's feelings and just being an overall kind person. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't just be blunt like that. That's why kids say the darndest things, not adults. So when people think that being blunt like that, like a kid, is cute, you just an asshole if you're an adult. But kids are cute because they don't even be thinking about it. They just be saying how they feel and just tell you the truth. He said he almost knocked you out.
Is it pay to push me?
Hello.
Yeah. He wanted to win that fight really bad, so
He almost knocked you out.
Bro, bro. And then somebody put the clip, bro. Whoever did this, bro, they wrong, bro.
No, he did not, girl. Is you crazy?
Hey man, shout out to Shakur and his daughter, man. That was a cute moment. But so with that clip though, with him almost getting knocked out, I don't know why people be tripping, bro. And I'm about to I'm about to defend Shakur a bit, man. Like, bro, it's a fight, man. Like, you gonna get hit, bro. Like, I just want to, before I leave it, let me show you what this person put. Shakur Stevenson's daughter exposed him after his fight last night. Now, I know he's joking, right? But a lot of people are saying that, I've seen a lot of people say, oh, Zepeda's pillow hands, or he doesn't fight, he doesn't punch hard, and he was able to almost wobble Shakur, right? They're like, what would Tank do, you know? And I get it, right? But it's a fight, man. It's a fight. Are you going to get punched? And you might get like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You might get knocked off balance. I do think that was more of a balance thing, but he did get punched clearly. So, you know, when you got people like Kendrick, you know, who says that Tank, I'm not saying Kendrick really said this, I don't know, but it sounds like something Kendrick would say. I just blame Kendrick. I don't really know if it's accurate. I'm just saying Kendrick. But when you have people like Kendrick saying that, oh, well, Tank took a delayed knee because he got jabbed in his eye 20 seconds before he took the knee, you know, then I want to hear you keep the same energy, because that was definitely a wobble then. But if you are like myself and you add a little bit more discretion and a little bit more honesty and a little more objectivity, I don't think that's a problem. I do think it was more so of a balance thing. It was definitely a punch too, but even a knockdown is a punch and a balance thing, right? It doesn't mean that every knockdown you got hurt, right? But it does mean that it was accumulation of, or a combination rather, of a punch and a balance thing sometimes, right? So I don't think he was hurt right here. You know, I don't think he was hurt. I just think it was a time when he tried to open up, was probably about to open up and throw something back himself. Pause. That's how to throw something back is crazy. We're going to pause that.
No, did he?
We're going to pause that. I think he was about to retaliate himself and he got caught. You see what I'm saying? So, but like I said, so if you're going to say that Tank took a knee because of a jab, then I'm gonna need you to keep that same energy. He did get wobbled, but that's a problem when you're not consistent. You see him? That's a problem when you're overly biased. You can't, cause that's how the world is. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna equal itself out. You know, one day you might be the king, and the next day you might be the pauper. You know what I'm saying? Or the peasant. You know what I'm saying? What my boy Oscar always say. You know what I'm saying? You might be the dog dancing if you ain't got the money this time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that was a problem. Like, it's a fight, bro. Their punches hurt, bitch. Punches hurt, bro. Newsflash, punches hurt. Even when you don't think they hurt, it don't have to come from Tank. It could come from Devin Haney, the pillow fist Devin Haney. If Devin Haney punch you right now, it might not knock you out, but it's going to hurt. If you don't believe me, ask your 10-year-old niece to punch you in the stomach. It's going to hurt. It may not hurt to incapacitate you. It may not hurt to knock the wind out of you, but it's going to punches hurt. I don't think there was anything to be worried about right there. Like, bro, they're punching each. It's a grown man. Zepeda may not have one punch knockout power, but if he hits you right, this is boxing, you could get hurt. And Zepeda is not a slouch, bro. Zepeda is a very good fighter. So I commend Shakur for this victory. You know what I'm talking about? I think this was a great win, and I don't think that there's anything to take. He said, freaky ass brother, you a 69 guy. Freaky ass brother, you want 69 balls? He said freaky. Bro, I don't think there's anything to take away from that, bro. And if Shakur says I wasn't hurt, of course he's gonna say that, you know. And I believe him. I don't think he was hurt. But even if he was, who cares? He wasn't knocked out. He won the fight. Like, people just be reaching so much. But I know we need content. I know we need to make content and say, oh, if that was Tank that hit him right there. What if Tank don't hit him like that right there? They're two different fighters. Tank doesn't fight like Zepeda. Zepeda doesn't fight like Tank. And maybe if Tank does catch him, he gonna knock him out. But if Tank catch anybody, he probably gonna knock him out. That's what Tank does. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not saying for analytical purposes and to make a fair assessment, you can't look at things. That's what we do. We look at evidence and make assessments, but we don't want to go overboard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it's crazy. If a dog bites you, it's going to hurt, right? If a Rottweiler bites you or a pit bull, it's going to hurt more than a Chihuahua bites you, but a Chihuahua bites you is still going to hurt, bitch. If a baby bites you, it's going to hurt. They don't have to have the strongest PSI, pounds of pressure from a bite. It doesn't have to have the strongest bite force to hurt. You know, a crocodile might take your arm smooth off, but if an ant bites you, it's going to hurt. Like, what are we talking about, man? These are grown men fighting. Of course a punch is going to hurt. People acting like you supposed to be perfect. And then if Shakur would have just stayed there and outboxed him and did not engage, right? Then they would have said, oh, you know, he's boxing too much. But then he engages and he gets punched. oh, it's because he's vulnerable and he's too easily hit. Same thing we saw with Jerron Boots Ennis. Jerron Boots Ennis, he boxed you. And I'm not gonna lie, Jerron Boots Ennis was getting on my nerves a little bit because every single time, you know, when he fought Karen, that's a tough fight. But it was like, okay, bet Karen wasn't engaging, so he was making it a difficult fight. And then, oh, okay, well then now Karen is fighting too close now, so he's making it a difficult fight. Like, what do you want? People are not just gonna walk up to you and let you knock them out. That's not how it works. They're fighting, trying to win too. So, but anyway, but people were saying that Boots got hit too much. He's fighting. He's exchanging, but he's winning the exchanges. You're gonna get hit, bro. I mean, ideally, you want to be like Roy Jones, but then even when Roy Jones got caught by Tarver, we saw what happened to him. So I mean, it is what it is, man. It's boxing, man. People gonna get hit. I don't think it's indicative of Shakur not having a good chin. Maybe he doesn't though. You know, it's something to explore, but I don't think it's anything to make a definitive assessment, especially a one that's saying that, oh yeah, he's in danger, man. If anybody hits him, he's gonna get hurt because it's a pay to hit him with a punch that might have caught him off guard. Like, come on, dog. What are we doing, man? We gotta add a little bit more discretion, man. That's just my personal opinion, man, on that. He said, hey, Curry didn't take a knee and take 20 seconds time out. He was on the court. I'm not trying to hear that, bro. So you see, Kendrick ain't deny what I said, though. Oh, yeah, he ain't deny what I said, though. As long as you ain't deny it, my brother, shout out to you. I can respect that. As long as you ain't deny it, I ain't trying to hear that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Amanda Serrato got the same grease in the eye. She canceled the entire event. No one said nothing. You know what I'm talking about? If anything, Tank got to tighten up though, man. Tank got to tighten up though. Yeah, he got to. Hopefully he gets his fight, man. Hopefully he gets his fight. But yeah, man. I also want to move up to the last topic, man. And I'm about to let's see. I want to talk about this topic right here, chat. The Usyk and Dubois undercard. I'm gonna be honest though. I'm gonna be honest, Clone and Kendrick, Ryan and Ty. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm spoiled. That's what it is, man. I'm just spoiled. I'm spoiled, chat. I'm spoiled, man. And the reason why I say I'm spoiled, because this card is trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
This card is trash. This card is garbage. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. This card right here is he said, don't stand on the hip, bro. I'm not, bro. I don't have any problem with taking a knee, bro. The point should have been taken away, but that's from the referee. I don't see that as a fighter issue. I look at the entire situation, bro. I don't get caught up in the emotions. That's why I could look at Shakur and be like, okay, that's no problem that he got wobbled. But somebody like you, if that was Tank, you would have said, oh, he got wobbled. I know it. If that was Tank, you would have said he got wobbled. You know, just like you said that Tank got a jab and it hurt him. You know what I'm saying? That's why he took a knee. I'm not standing on it. It has nothing to do with me. It's you standing on the hill. Make sure that you stand on both hills. You know what I'm saying? Don't just stand on the hill that's convenient. You feel me? Don't stand on the hill that's Shakur's hill and then not stand on the Tank hill. You feel me? I stand on my hill. I stand on my square. But I can't find the undercard, chat. I found it, but I want to see the one with the pictures. I want to show y'all the one with the pictures. It's undercard, but like I said, it's me, bro. I'm spoiled, man. I can't. Okay, I found another one, but I want to find the one with the pictures. I can't find it, chat. I want y'all to see, because I think it's better when y'all see the faces and stuff. I don't know where it's at, chat. I had it, and I guess I forgot to like it. I'm sorry about that. Dang it. I thought I liked it. I could have sworn I liked it, bro. So I could reference it again. Give me a second, chat. Like I said, I found the list, but I want to put the pictures of the faces on there so y'all can see it. Bullshit. I could have sworn I liked that thing. I don't remember if it was on Twitter. Bitches. Oh my gosh. All right, forget it. Anyway, y'all would know the names that y'all don't recognize anyway, but still, I think it'd be cool just to have the pictures of them. There's one good fight on the undercard. It's okay to me. Bruh. I can't find the chat. Anyway, I'm trying though. I'm trying, chat. I'm trying. All right, I can't find it. All right, here we go. All right, so here it goes right here, man. I can't find the images. Anyway, here it is. Where you need the pictures, right? Because we don't. That's what I'm saying, right? Exactly. You need pictures. We don't know half the guys, bro. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can't find the picture, but anyway, the co-main is good. Lawrence Okoli versus Kevin Lorena. That's decent. But everything else, this shit trash. We got Lewis Edmondson versus Daniel Lapin. Daniel Lapin is it's like a Ukrainian showcase, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Daniel Lapin is Ukrainian, and then I think Lasha Guruli is also Ukrainian. So, you know, shout out to Usyk, he putting his people on, man. You know what I'm saying? We love to see that when people put their people on. You know what I'm saying? We need to see, you know, hopefully you know what I'm saying, Richard Hitchens could get some Haitians on there on his cards, you know. We love to see that, you know. So this is dope. But yeah, so this is a card. We got Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois 2. We got Lawrence Okoli versus Kevin Lorena. We got Lewis Edmondson versus Daniel Lapin. We got Lasha Guruli versus James Francis, and Adam Ahmed versus Ezekiel Grigoris. Now, I want to be clear. Just because we don't recognize the names doesn't mean it's going to be garbage from a quality standpoint. You know what I'm saying? As far as what we see, when they fight, it might be good. But as far as recognizability, this
fucking place, trash.
Yeah, the card is trash. You know what I'm saying? So it's just garbage, bro. Like, it is what it is, man. Like I said, it's my fault. You know, I'm spoiled. You feel me? I'm spoiled, bro. It is what it is. I'm spoiled because we're getting all these cards like this weekend. Hey, this weekend, if you didn't like this weekend's fights, I don't know what to tell you, bro. This fight this weekend was like everything, man. From MVP, shout out to Jake Paul. You feel me? Shout out to Jake Paul and MVP. Like I said, I know a lot of people don't like Jake Paul. I'm not a big Jake Paul fan as far as him, the personnel in which he fights. But him as an ambassador for the sport, him as a promoter, you know, having his own promotion, MVP, they do their thing, man, especially for the women's division. Like I say, one thing you cannot say that Jake Paul doesn't enrich boxing. I think he does. His presence in boxing. Now, as a fighter who he's fighting the personnel like an old Mike Tyson, you know, a 57-year-old, 30-year, his senior, you know, because Jake Paul's 27, Mike Tyson was 57. So that doesn't look good. You know, he just had an ulcer flare up at the airport. That doesn't look good. Him fighting Julio Cesar Chavez, who was off a 10-year crack binge, rehabilitation, and deportation. That's not good, you know. Fighting all those guys that aren't necessarily boxers, not good from a personnel standpoint. But as a guy that's putting on events, what he's doing for the women's side is awesome. I tell people all the time, Daniel Dubois, who's the current IBF heavyweight champion, he was on a Jake Paul undercard. Bruce Shushu Carrington was on a Jake Paul undercard. Mario Barrios, the WBC champion at 147, was on a Jake Paul undercard. So he's bringing Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano on the Jake Paul undercard. So I think that he's bringing eyes to the sport, and I think it's dope. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. However, you know, as a fighter, he's lacking. But as a guy that's putting on events, man, this July 11th was fire, man. And one time for the ladies, more importantly. One time for the ladies, most importantly, because they actually put on a good show. They were actually on weight. They were actually ready to fight. Oh, hold on, man. Speaking of the ladies, man. Come on, man. One time for the ladies again, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. What y'all know about this, chat? Oh. So hey, Kendrick, we watching the WNBA now? Oscar, what we doing? We watching the WNBA now? She's not there yet. You better believe she gonna be. Oh, she gonna be in the WNBA. She's not there yet. She's only 17. That's what y'all said y'all want. Y'all want dunks, right? Come on now. He said no, so yeah, they should put, Karen. Is Karen Ukrainian, Ty? I thought he was German. I think Karen Chukazan is German, right? But yeah, Sergey Boachuk is Ukrainian. Yeah, put Sergey on there. But I think Karen is German. But hell, put him on there too. Bro, this is what happens when you think you're smart, chat. That's what happens, bro. Poor Kendrick. He'll be all right. Karen is Ukrainian? Oh, wow. I thought he was German. Okay. Does he fight out of Germany? Okay, Karen's Ukrainian. Shout out to him. He said it's not the WNBA. Yeah, I literally said that she's 17 and she's not in the WNBA yet. I mean, I literally said that. So y'all some haters, boy. Y'all some haters, boy. Hey, but shout out to Wembanyama, man. And I don't know what they got cooking over there in France, man. They got that long sauce. They got that long sauce. We got a girl from Canada, Dougie. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I know her. She's I don't remember her name though, Ryan. What's her name again? I can't remember that Canadian. Yeah, she's like she's young too. Yeah, she's going to Duke next season, right? Yeah, I know her too. Yeah, man, they be hating on the women, man. They be hating on the women, man. Insecurity, you know what I'm talking about? My brother Todd. You got to forgive him, Ryan. You got to forgive him, bro. You know, my brother Oscar, my brother Kendrick, a little insecure, man. You know what I'm saying? They insecure a little bit, man. You know, that's why they be hating. No, I'm joking. What was I gonna say? I got on Twitter to try to look for the thing, man. I got on Twitter to try to look for the freaking Usyk and Dubois undercard, bro. I still can't find it. Bro, I could have sworn I liked that thing, bro. They had the pictures anyway, but they have that one tall Ukrainian. I think he's Lupin. His name is whatever Lupin. I think that's that. He looks pretty good. I will say. He looks pretty good, man. Like I said, I don't know. The card is just trash. But it might still be good though. I wrote that before you said that on my feed. So no, you didn't. You just impatient. We'll calm your ass down. I said it all in one sentence. You know what I'm talking about? I said it all in one sentence. You too thirsty. Yeah, Toby. So yeah. I can't remember her name, bruh. You too thirsty, bruh. Oh man, I'm trying to look her up right now, but anyway, I can't find the thing. But yeah, man, that's it, man. So we'll see how it goes, man. Shout out to the haters, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kendrick. Shout out to the haters, man. You feel me? I'm on your head top, man. Shout out to the haters, man. Oscar ain't no hater, man. But Kendrick, that's a hater right there. What we thinking of Oscar trolling Berlanga? I mean, Oscar doing what he's doing. I thought it was funny. I already talked about that. So I'm not revisiting that. I talked about that the night of the fight. So I don't feel like revisiting that. I thought it was funny though. You know, I thought it was funny. Shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. And it was appropriate. What I do want to know, I always said fake news. He's a hater. That's real news. I want to know is this: was that really the wig? If that was really the wig that Berlanga threw at him, I ain't gonna lie, man. We gotta clap it up for Oscar, man. The Lord of the Trolls. We gotta clap it up for Oscar, man. If that was really the same wig that Edgar Berlanga threw at him, clap it up for Oscar. Jesus was hated for Jesus was hated for his works. You know what I'm talking about? Jesus was hated for doing good, not for hating. That's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Jesus was hated for his deeds and his works and his actions and his preachings and what he did. Not for hating on nobody or knocking nobody down. I missed that part of the Bible. Yeah, I'm talking about I missed that part. Yeah, shout out to Oscar, man. Shout out to Oscar. It was funny. But yeah, I will talk about this though, man. What do y'all think is next for Berlanga? I will talk about this. I don't know what Oscar. I mean, I don't know what Edgar does next, man. Like I said, I know it's easy. I mean, how old is Edgar? Like 26, right? He's young. I know he's young, but I mean, like, is he like 26, 28, something like that? He's 28, right? So he's 28. He's 6'1", super middleweight. He still has some life, right? Of course, as far as what he could do. He's not like he's an undersized super middleweight. Now, if he's struggling to make weight, that's different. But he's not like an undersized super middleweight. He doesn't seem like he's struggling to make weight. He's still young. He could bounce back. But like I said, man, Berlanga is... This is Berlanga, man. This is my problem with Edgar, man. I love it, bro, but you got to be good. You can't do that stuff and be bad. That's why Floyd is great, bro, because Floyd, not saying he would twerk like that. I'm not saying he's twerking, but Floyd would do stuff and be braggadocious, but you know he's locked in. He'll go to the club and look like he's in the club, but he's getting paid for his appearance and then he jogs home. He's locked in, you know? And it's hard to do that, man. It's hard to be playful, boisterous, and be locked into the full 100%, you know? This man Ty said Edgar fighting me next. He had on the thong too. Hey, bro, chill out, bro.
You dumbass.
He had on the thong too. He got to fight Plant now. I don't want that fight, man. Someone said that yesterday as well. I don't want that fight, man. But like, shout out to Ryan, you know, and guys like that, you know. I think that people will want that fight. You know, the reason why I wanted. So I'm gonna give you a similarity from my standpoint. I'm not saying that you can't want it. I'm just saying why I don't want it. Gary Anton Russell, Subra Matias, I wanted that fight before they lost. Remember, they lost around the same time, within like a week of each other, right? Because when Subra Matias lost to Liam Paro, Gary Anton Russell lost like a week before or a week later. I can't remember exactly the order. He lost to Alberto Puello, right? But they both lost by decision. It was a close fight between Subra Matias and Liam Paro and Alberto Puello, Gary Anton Russell. They didn't look bad. Caleb Plant looked bad against Resendez. Edgar Berlanga looked bad against Sheeraz. I don't want to see two guys that look bad fighting just for the sake of fighting. Like, you know, so to me, the reason why I was cool with Gary Anton Russell, Subra Matias, I remember saying this. I was like, man, I still want them to fight. And this is still not messed up because before they're both undefeated, they could fight. Now they're both defeated and they could fight, you know, in regards to, in reference to, Gary Anton Russell or Subra Matias. They didn't look bad. So I was like, okay, bet they can still fight and they'll still be a good fight. I'm not sure that Caleb Plant and Edgar Berlanga would even be a good fight. I have no reason to believe that would be a good fight. Obviously somebody will win, but I don't want to see them fighting just to fight, bro. Like, so I'm not interested in that fight. I think for me to be interested in Berlanga and Caleb Plant, they got to both have at least a tune-up. Maybe Caleb Plant got to get it back against Resendez. Edgar Berlanga need to stay the hell away from Sheeraz. I'll say, don't get that back. Don't. He said he wanted a rematch immediately after. Don't you do that. Leave that one alone. No, sir. Don't you do that again. But he at least needs a tune-up. But then it's like Berlanga is like, okay, you get another tune-up for what? Your whole career is tune-ups. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not really interested in that fight, man. Berlanga gotta at least beat a PED popping Munguia. At least. He got at least, or maybe fight a Bruno Saras and beat him something. But like, he just can't get a regular old Jonathan Mantequilla Gonzalez type of tune-up. He got to get somebody that's decent. And then if he gets somebody that's decent, we know he might lose decent, you know, because it's Berlanga. So I'm not interested in that. I'm not saying anybody else can't be interested in that fight. I'm not interested in that fight. I got to see Caleb Plant bounce back. Sweet Hands Plant, that's my guy. You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. I don't want to see him in Berlanga because I think it's, what am I watching? You know what I'm saying? I'm watching two guys due to their I don't think it, what I'm saying is I don't think it proves much. You know what I'm saying? I would still pick Caleb Plant. I had Caleb Plant before. I still have him now, but I don't think, what does it prove? I don't know. I feel like that fight should mean something. He said, after all that trash talk of both of them losing, I'll watch it. Yeah. It's like, and that's the thing about Berlanga, is like, he deserves to be a meme. I like Berlanga, but he coming out there with the pistol play, the dual pistols, the silver ballers like Hitman Agent 47. He coming out with a Tommy gun. Like, bro, you can't be shooting up everybody with the 50-round clip and then you go in there strapless during the fight, bro. Like, so, nah, man. I don't know what's next for Edgar Berlanga, but I hope it's not Caleb Plant. I don't want to see that. You know, and same with Caleb Plant. I hope it's not Edgar Berlanga. I don't know what's next, but who do I think has more life right now? I would say Caleb Plant. Because, of course, he didn't get stopped. You know, he did lose, and it was embarrassing, I guess, to lose to somebody that you said you would beat, somebody that you beat before in sparring, and that's embarrassing to take that L, but it wasn't an embarrassment by how it went down. Berlanga got slaughtered. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at anybody who wants to see it. I just don't want to see it. My whole career was 2-dubs. Thank you. Hey, chill out, my boy, Ty. Chill out, bro. You ain't have to emphasize and repeat that, brother. You ain't have to emphasize and repeat that. Nah. You wrong for that, man. Chill on Berlanga, man. Don't do my boy like that. Bro, I was going to make a... Man, Berlanga was this close to getting his own emote, too, man. But it is what it is, man, you know. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Stop saying the N-word and put some practice in. You know what I'm saying? He can rematch the butter guy, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. Edgar is going to have to take massive pay cuts to get back in the mix. And he deserves to take massive pay cuts. And that's what got to his head, Ryan, like you said. Maybe he should never had the pay. What's the opposite of a pay cut? A pay jump? I don't know. Maybe he should never had the pay because he was being paid in excess. You know, and that's the thing, you know. Unfortunately, some people react differently, right? Like, so Kendrick might react to a promotion and work even harder to get another promotion. You see what I'm saying? You might do that, Ryan, because y'all are intelligent guys. Let me not say intelligence, because I'm not saying Berlanga's stupid. I'm not saying anybody who... People just react differently. Let's just say that. You know, some people are more prone to complacency than others and stagnation than others. You may respond to a graduation or a promotion or a salary boost or whatever, and you may respond like, okay, bet, you know, dang, I got rewarded for what I've done. But I'm not satisfied. I want to go farther. I want to go higher. So it's like reinforcing your hard work. It's like, even when I just started learning the muscle ups, I could have stopped when I did one muscle up. But no, now I want to perfect it. You know, I'm not perfect. You know, only God's perfect. But, you know, I want to keep going and get better and better and keep improving. I didn't just stop after one muscle up. I do muscle ups almost every time I work out, you know, just because I enjoy it and I love the satisfaction and the gratification I get from seeing the improvement, right? Berlanga, you know, and this is what Tim Bradley was talking about. You know, he's saying that these guys are getting paid too much, which I completely disagree. Get however much money as you could get. You're getting punched on. Everybody wants to get as much money. You know what I'm saying? No matter what walk of life you are, you want to get as much money as you can in your position. So I have no problem with that. But this is what Tim Bradley's talking about. You pay somebody so much money, they forget that they still have to fight. But the issue I have is that they're trying to attach that statement with Devin Haney. Devin Haney outboxed the hell out of Jose Carlos Ramirez. It was not entertaining. You may not have liked it. It may not have been the style that got your panties wet. Roy Jones, I like Roy Jones, but when you say that things like, oh, Devin Haney didn't fight, he wanted to be entertaining. No, he wants to go in there and win the fight. And that's what he did. It wasn't even close. So you can give critiques and you could also be honest at the same time and not lose your way and not get caught up in emotion. You could say that Devin Haney's performance was not entertaining. You cannot say that his performance was not successful or that it was bad. No, his performance was dominant. It just, the way that it was dominant was boring. Those are two different things. There was nothing questionable about that win. He implemented a game plan. He executed that game plan. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to outbox and outsmart your opponent. Robert Garcia didn't even have an answer for it when it came to his fighter, Jose Carlos Ramirez. So would I want to watch that fight again? No. But I don't think that's an example of Devin Haney getting paid too much and not wanting to fight. Edgar Berlanga might be an example of getting paid too much and thinking that you made it and thinking that, okay, everything I've done has been good money. And then you find out that you just been getting paid a lot of money, but it wasn't good money because now you're confused and you don't know that you still got to put that work in and you think you made it and you got Hamzah Sheeraz in your ass. He sheared your ass. So have you mastered the pistol squat yet? Nah, not yet, bro. I'm still working on it, brother. I just did a pistol squat yesterday, and I was working on my backflip. I'm trying to teach myself how to backflip, so I was working on my backflip. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm working on right now, but I like to keep it private because I don't want people to think that, you know, sometimes I like to see how fast I could do it sometimes. So when I say in my head, these are what I want to work on. I haven't started working on it yet. I want to do my hand. I want to work on a handstand. You know, I'm working on doing a handstand. Pistol squat, still haven't perfected yet. I haven't perfected none of them, but you know, so handstand, backflip. My next goals are handstands, backflips, and pistol squats. Oh, I'm about to get off, Oscar. I'm not staying on, bro. This is a short show. I'm not. But shout out to my guy Oscar dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. Yeah, I'm about to get off, brother. I probably won't even get on. I probably won't even be on in 10 minutes time, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate, shout out to my guy with the dropping that bread. I appreciate that, bro. Shout out to you for the super chat. But no, I haven't mastered the pistol squat, but I am doing it. Like I was when I was at the park 2 days ago, because it's been storming like crazy. But it's hurricane season. We're in Florida. But I was out there popping the pistol squat. But I was like, let's get it. I'm getting better. It's definitely improving. Yes, sir. The problem isn't the person. Problem is making plans for fights before they even get in the press conference to announce the first fight. Exactly. But I don't even think that's the problem. I mean, like, I think it's the problem for certain fighters. You know, it's your mentality. You know, I think that, you know, I'm sorry, I could be wrong. And styles make fights, but I feel like Berlanga, it's hard. I don't want to say that because I don't want to take away credit for Sheeraz. Because if I say what I was about to say, it seems like I'm taking away credit for Sheeraz. I'm not taking away credit for Sheeraz, but I feel like that wasn't the best version of Berlanga. And I'm not saying that any version would have beat. I think Sheeraz, the way he whooped him, he beats any version of Berlanga. But I don't think that Berlanga, you know, talking about throwing money at Oscar De La Hoya, throwing panties at Oscar De La Hoya, throwing wigs at Oscar De La Hoya, doing this with Oscar De La Hoya. And then you talking trash to Eddie Hearn, and you're doing this to Eddie Hearn, and you're talking about getting a Canelo rematch, and you're saying you're making fun of Caleb Plant. And now it looks like you weren't focused. Can you do all that and be focused simultaneously? Yes. But now in hindsight, it looks like you weren't focused. And I do feel like, I'm not saying Berlanga is a beast like Taya already agreed with me. We're in concurrence that, I think we're all in concurrence that Edgar Berlanga's career has been tune-ups, essentially. But even with that being said, even though his career has essentially been tune-ups, I do think that Edgar Berlanga kind of lost his way and wasn't being Edgar Berlanga. Like, maybe he tried to box too much. I felt like he was trying to box too much. He wasn't, I don't know, man. Like I said, he tagged Hamzah Sheeraz, and like I said, it's a fight. Not saying Sheeraz was ever in trouble, but he tagged him and he didn't follow up. I remember like a big right hand. You know what's so funny? I think I was watching Tarver. Was it Antonio Tarver? Or was it could have been Steven Bredman as well. Or it could, because I was watching quite a few interviews and they were talking about the Berlanga fight. It could have been Jose Benavidez Sr. as well. Either Jose Benavidez Sr. or Steven Bredman Edwards or Antonio Tarver. Hell, all three of them could have said it. I don't remember, but they said the same thing. I noticed too, and I said this as well. I was like, Berlanga, he landed a good right hand a couple times, and he never followed up. It's like he was trying to box or be something he wasn't. Like, I don't know what he was doing, but I don't think anybody thought that he was a better boxer. So you got to be who you are, man. You know what I'm saying? That's like Isaac people. Not saying he's as wild or as effective as Isaac Cruz, because Isaac Cruz was a champion. Edgar Berlanga's never been a champion, but that's like Isaac Pitbull Cruz landing a right hand and then he tries to box. Why would he try to outbox Rayo? He's going to try to use his strength. So sometimes being one-dimensional, if you're good at that one dimension, could be beneficial. I think that Edgar Berlanga I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he thought that he was a good boxer because he went the distance with Canelo. Not saying he's a bad boxer, but yeah. Bro, I'm not calling, bro. I'm not staying on long, so I'm out, man. Shout out to my brother Oscar. Y'all can go in the BTF members chat, but yeah, I'm not. No calls today. We had an hour and a half. People could have called in. I'm getting off, brother. My guy, Berlanga wasn't himself. He was fighting someone that's not. I ain't gonna say that, but I mean that's fair. That's fair. Unfortunately, that's fair. Unfortunately, that's fair. But yeah, man. Yeah, shorter show today. Today's on the shorter side, hour and a half. But yeah, man, we gotta keep it popping so the topics are low. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all rocking as always, man. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I'll be back. I don't know if I'll be back on for the late show. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I'll be back on for the late show. We'll see how it goes. If there's some topics, we'll see. But be on the lookout for some videos. I got a couple I have a video on my mind. I want to drop. So be on the lookout for a video. And yeah, man, don't forget to like the videos and don't forget to smack that subscribe button as well, man. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.